Please rise.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just to clarify, are we now doing the swearing in or are we?
First, yes.
Okay, so what a great night. Of course, you know, it would probably be remiss if we didn't say that we will miss Commissioner Fix, but she's moving on to a different commission. I don't know if that's public knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so best of luck with planning and zoning to Commissioner Fix. We will miss her for sure.
Yeah.
On to the happy side of that, we have commissioners who are swearing in, re-upping for the next term. Commissioner Brian Colbreth, I should say, because we have another Colbreth here tonight. And
Testing.
and
Can anybody hear me?
yeah,
Hey,
no.
sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. This ridiculous. Hello, and I'm so sorry for not being there. Thank you for allowing me to be on the RPG committee.
Right on. Well, it's good to have you here, sir. So without further ado,
And I will
let's start swearing in.
And I will
we
be
can
there
get
going
this
forward. I am so.
Good delay.
Technology.
That's fine, Councilman James. You're welcome virtually and in person.
Okay, if you all three want to stand. And if you want to repeat after me.
We raise our right hand.
Yes, raise your right hand, yes. Oh, great. I state your name.
I, Brian Colbreth,
Donna. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Arizona.
of the state of Arizona,
That I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
And that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of
discharge the duties of
the Office of Recreation and Public Grounds Commission
the Office of Recreation and Public Grounds Commission
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right. Congratulations.
Welcome.
Thanks. And if you can, sign, please, thank you.
It's official. You guys can't go anywhere now.
We're locked in.
3 more years.
Thank you. Very.
Pennywise, the seniority side of the middle before, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
And then this.
Pleasure to have fun, I guess, huh?
Okay. You should take that home, review it, and then when you're ready, just stop by our office
Will
and we can take care of it.
No problem.
All right, guys, have a good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call to the community. This is the time for citizens who would like to address the commission on any non-agenda item. Excuse me, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter, asking that the matter be put on a future agenda, or responding to criticism. We do have somebody who would like to speak during call of the community, Mr. Sonny Colbreth. Welcome, Sonny.
Thank you, Commissioner and commissioners, and Councilmember James. You might remember that right after the city council voted to build a new library, which I think we do need, there was a lot of discussion of what's going to happen to the existing library building once that is vacated. And I came to you at that time and asked that you start thinking about what could be there to benefit the community, because I think you'll be asked because of your position in the community as the Recreation and Public Grounds Commission. So I'm here again tonight to remind you of that and give you a little bit of history and go over a few things. And I've written it down because I only have 3 minutes, and I could get long-winded, but I won't. So, but that's very good. So as I said, I came to you to ask that you consider and talk to the residents as to what might be appropriate for that building. Since the city incorporated in 1987, I was hired as a actually the recreation director, and then became the community and recreation services director. So I had the privilege of helping to develop the recreation and programs and special events for the city of Litchfield Park. And with great staff, those programs have been recognized not only as some of the best programs in the West Valley, but recognized by Arizona Parks and Recreation as state leaders in many of the categories of special events and youth programming. So those are great things that we have here in the city, and everyone loves it. And of course, we have the Wigwam and some other social organizations. But what we don't have is a community center. And that's something that we have lacked for a long, long time. It's something that I had hoped might be built where the baseball park is built now. But I love the baseball park too, so I'm glad we have that, a lighted field. And that's an award-winning field too. And it was hard to turn down APS and wanting to donate something like that, and the Diamondbacks being a part of it. So I'm glad that's there. But I wanted to tell you some things as far as what has been in Litchfield Park over the years as we grew and developed our programming. We actually had a youth center. We had a youth center over on the Litchfield Elementary School grounds that kids could come to after school. It included not only elementary school, but teenagers. They could come. We had a study room there. We had a game room that had pool tables, places where they could sit and talk, had other gaming tables. They could watch TV and play video games, and a place to hang out after school until their parents came to pick them up. Well, eventually the school said, wow, that's a great idea. I think we'll start an after-school program. And so they did, and we lost that building because they used it for something else. It was the old woodworking building. And to actually get that in place, I had to come to the city council back then and said, look, we have this opportunity to turn this building, an old woodworking shop, into a community center, if you'll let me. And they said, well, we don't have the money for that. And so I think we did get a little bit of money, but I went to the community, and the community came together and remodeled that whole building. All the different people, the Romacs and people that worked in those trades came together and put bathrooms that worked. You know, you had to have special men, women bathrooms, ADA, all those things. They came together and put that together. So it was a great program, but we lost it. Also, we've had senior programs. We had senior programs where we even offered cake decorating, flower arranging, country western dance. We had group travels, a lot of different things like that. They would come and play bridge at the rec center a couple times a week, and we had a great turnout for that. But then we had an idea we needed to have a preschool also. So now we have a very active and successful preschool, but the people that were doing those other programs had no place to go. So I think they went and they found different things, but I don't think there's a senior program like there used to be. And then the other thing that we had was we had for kids that were in school that didn't play sports, we had other activities like arts and crafts in the rec center. We had even baby talk or sign language, baby sign language. We offered different classes that the community could come be a part of. But as we developed the use for the rec center, and that became a space that was needed for the preschool, we lost those activities. So they have been a part of our programming as we looked at what can we offer to the community. Not too long ago, when it was announced that we were going to move the Scout Lodge over to Scout Park, there was a focus group put together. Some of you might have been at that focus group. I see you shaking your heads. You were there. It was a big discussion. We had people from all walks of life in the community there, including Scouts. And a big discussion was, let's make it great for Scouts. Let's keep some of the things that are historic there and bring them over. So the Scouts still have a lodge to have their scouting, but let's make it a little bigger so we can offer things to the community. Why? Because it would be like a community center. We could do more things. But then as it was designed and put the paper and presented to the city council and with a price on it, city council decided, well, that's too much money to spend on that building. So then it was said, well, I think we can move Scout Lodge as it is. But now we know that's not going to happen. So they're still looking at building a new Scout Lodge, but I haven't heard anything about making it bigger. But
Sonny, let me know when you
I'm
want to
just
jump in.
saying, yes, sir. You need something, Justin?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I get so I want you to continue and finish this, but we do have on the CIP projects this year to move Scout Lodge over to Scout Park. So continue.
That I know, Justin. Thank you for adding that. But I don't think there's anything in there to make it bigger like we had discussed before. So what I'm saying is we have an opportunity with the vacant library building with some remodeling to possibly fill the void that's not here. There are several times I went for grants. I applied for grants for additional programming in the community. And a lot of it was senior programming. And we could have gotten like $5,000 to $6,000 grants to help our senior programming. But we never got the grant. So I would always say, well, where did I fall short on the grant? They said, well, you don't really have a place for those things that you're asking to build. So again, I come to you, talk to the community. You're going to be asked sometime. Find out what the community would like to see. And when the city council comes to you for your advice, at least you will have talked to the community that you represent, and that possibly we can see some of those things come to pass. So even if you put it on a future agenda, I think it'd be great once you give it some time and people go out and talk to the community. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Staff reports, Community and Recreation Services Monthly Report, presenter Tricia Kramer, Director of Community and Recreation Services.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. The Community and Rec Services Monthly Report is in your agenda. I'll just quickly touch on a few points. Aquatics is picking up for us. This is the hiring season for us. And for those of you that don't know, Isabella Subject is now our interim aquatics coordinator. Georgia Cox, who was with us for a short while, left, I think, shortly after we had our last meeting. She took a position elsewhere. And Izzy has been with us for 3 years. She's a senior lifeguard. She was our head coach for Legardos and has done an excellent job stepping into the role. She's getting some more training, and we anticipate when that happens and that's complete, that she will step in as our permanent aquatics coordinator. That being said, she's assembling her team of lifeguards. We've had 40 applicants this year, which is incredible. And half of them essentially are returners. So all our head guards in lifeguard 2s, which are instructors, are returners who are familiar with our programs and programming. And lifeguard 1s are the newbies, and so they make up the other half. And we've got a couple positions to fill, but literally just a couple. and they'll get started, over the next couple weeks with their training and be ready in time for the pool to open Memorial Day weekend. So, full steam ahead for aquatics. And for those who are interested, registrations for those swim lessons and swim team open next week on April 14th. Preschool also plugging along. They are working on filling their summer camp and still having open enrollment for the school year. They've got 28 students registered, and those just keep coming in gradually as they approach the school year. So we expect to have that filled as well. In terms of community services, right now, we are putting together the addresses for the community garage sale, which takes place on the 19th. We've got 30 or so homes signed up so far, and ads going out in the West Valley View next week to push people to come to the community and take a look at what's being offered by the residents who are participating. So we usually get anywhere between 40 and 50 when all is said and done. And the list is on the website, and we're working on creating the map that links to all those addresses as well, but we're updating those daily. We've also had actually 14 applications for appropriations from nonprofits this year. That may be the most we've had in a little while. We've got a couple of new applicants, and a good majority are returners or repeat applicants, nonprofits that work here in Litchfield Park and the surrounding communities and serve our residents. So all of their applications will be considered by council next week on the 16th at their meeting, at the special meeting at 6 p.m. if any of you are interested in that. In terms of special events, most of our programming is coming to a close for the season. However, we have added a new Easter event. So on Saturday in the new park, in Litchfield Square Park, from 9 to noon, we're holding a free Easter event for the community. So come on out with your families. The Easter Bunny will be there, and parents can take pictures with the Easter Bunny. We'll have some sack races, coloring, the egg hunt, all that good stuff. It should be a fun time. And the Easter Bunny is scheduled to come in by helicopter at 9:30. So you may want to share with your neighbors as well in case they get concerned. You know exactly what that is. We are making plans for the Memorial Day ceremony. You'll, I'm sure, get invites to that from City Hall as that gets closer, and are also making plans for Sparkle in the Square, which means that fireworks are coming back to the community. The city and the Wigwam are working on partnering on the fireworks again. They'll be put off at the resort, but the viewing will take place in the new park. So as those plans progress, we'll keep you updated on that as well. And I'm gonna turn the rest of the report over to Pat so he can talk about his great sports.
Thank you, Tricia. So we are in spring season is going on. We are in week 4 of the spring season, so we're about halfway through. We had a great turnout this year. We have 741 total kids, so that's consistent with the numbers last year, so we're excited to keep that trend going. We're just getting ready for looking into possibly doing some summer skill clinics. We've done T-ball in the past, which that is coming back, and then we're also looking into adding possibly like a flagpole week-long clinic for everyone in the summer. So just trying to get out there and keep the kids ready to go for the fall season and learn some new skills. And then the run happened at the end of February, and we had a total of 541 participants. So that is the most we've had in quite some time. So we're excited to see those numbers get to where they're at. So, and that's about all I have for sports.
Thank you, guys. Are there any questions? All right. I don't see Kyle here, so does that mean we're just gonna skip that?
Yeah, Kyle was unable to make it to today's meeting. He was out of the office today. His report's in your packet. If you have any questions, he's asked that you just follow up directly with him, and he's happy to address those with you.
Okay. Our best to Kyle, hope he's feeling better. So we already did the oath of office. Again, thank you to commissioners returning and welcome to brand new commissioner. Approval of minutes, presenter Tricia Kramer, Director of Community and Recreation Services. Discussion possible action to approve the January 9th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. The January 9th?
Yes,
We painted trees.
oh,
That's right. That was, it seems like it was so long ago, right? But
State of the
Yeah.
city.
holy cow, yeah.
Yeah.
it has been a little bit, so if you haven't jogged your memories and need a moment to look it over, feel free, but otherwise, happy to have, the chairman entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes from the January 9th board, commission meeting.
Well, second.
Do we have any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Next subject. Yard of the Quarter nomination, presenter Tricia Kramer, Director of Community and Recreation Services. Discussion and possible action regarding the nominations for Yard of the Quarter.
Thank you, Chairman Teddy and Commissioners. Again, I am happy to share that there were 3 community nominations for Yard of the Quarter. So, the 3 homes nominated were 185 East Campina Drive, 950 East Libre Circle, and 1115 North Villanueva Drive. So I will prepare the Google sheet for you guys, send that out, ask that you, take your time doing that, not too long, and, this way we can, at the next meeting,
Have the
determine
summary report.
who the winner is. Yep, I'll share the tallies, so you guys know who the winning home is, and we'll move forward. And that will, wrap up Q1.
So thanks for nominating anybody, 'cause we had.
No nominations
That's awesome.
needed, you guys will just be judging.
I love it. Finally.
Finally got some momentum.
That's a fire. Gonna blow up.
Do we know if they came from multiple people?
Yes,
Hey, listen, we're just happy with 3.
Get forced in the mouth there. Come on, Dave.
Don't rock the boat, Brian.
Yeah.
there were multiple nominations.
Good, yay. We have to put a big thank you in there, some,
And
like,
none of
keep
them
it
are behind
coming.
gates.
Yeah.
2025 Orange Tree Painting Recap. And that's me, RPG Chairperson. So the first thing I'll just say is, boy, oh boy, what you can get done with 120 some odd volunteers working over the course of 8 hours on a beautiful weekend with nice weather. And probably first, just a big thank you to the city for providing all of the materials that we needed to get through the weekend again, not to mention lunch. Thank you, Tricia. I believe you picked up lunch and like morning snacks. Tricia is there as early as anybody, getting everything set up, and she's the last one to leave, getting everything closed down. Really can't say enough about how grateful we are for like your lead on those events. Got a ton of awesome feedback, still getting great feedback on the trees. I haven't looked at the social media yet. I'd like to see that again because I know Chuck came out, right, and did some pictures and some filming. Trees look great. And just having the commissioners there and getting everybody involved and just leading the charge. The things that we do to, you know, just not only take care of the trees in our city, but to also make everything more beautiful in our city is just amazing. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, so we had 6 or 8, I think 8 now that I'm trying to remember.
6 sponsors.
Pardon me, 6 sponsors, okay.
Yep.
And a big thank you to the sponsors. We had shirts for XXL. We won't say any names, but we are very grateful for that too. And just so much community support, so much community involvement. It's just wonderful to see. Does anybody like to add anything to that? I know all of you were there, right? You were there too. Yeah.
I think the different color was a good idea on the shirts. It makes, you know, you can have a whole collection down the road.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Pushing for pastel yellow next year.
I love it. You could do crossing guard work in it and you're part-time, you know?
One thing I wanted to ask Kyle about was, it's like some of the people painting, you know, the suckers that you get sometimes on the bottom of the tree?
Yeah.
They don't bear fruit. They, you know, at my house, I rip them off because I don't think they bear
Yeah.
fruit. The kids were confused with what to do around those. And so it might be not a bad idea even if just one of us ran out the week before and just ran around and ripped them off, or if Kyle had the these guys just rip those suckers off so that, I don't know, I'm assuming that's good for trees because I do it, but it's a question for Kyle when he comes back.
You're referring to the new growth that kind of,
There's little growth that sticks
Yeah.
out of the base or stuff like that, or even the
I
middle of the
break them
trunk.
off at my house
Yeah.
too.
so we had a couple of teams that were cruising with scissors after they encountered their first one and they were just cutting them.
Yeah.
You could see where it was done and where it wasn't done, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with you. Like a little bit of even
Prep work.
Even
Yeah.
like the lights, maybe, you know, like the lights next year would be something just to think about beforehand.
for sure. And I'll go as far as say too, if they know that there's a tree that's gonna be pulled, then put some kind of marker in front of it.
Or like even cutting the ones down that are dead before, you know, if that's appropriate for the trees. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
I thought the event was overall very successful, good turnout. Everyone seemed to have a good time. I think in the future, we should really push to have somebody from Public Works there, at least have a representative from Public Works. Like, I mean, I think that they would want to be there. But if, you know, we're messing with their trees, it's gonna reflect on them. But really, I don't know, I just push to get involvement beforehand. We would have realized that there were lights that we couldn't go around, deal with the suckers, the dead trees, just little things like that where it'd be very helpful. And it is hard to call out Kyle when he's not here, so. That's all.
And I know too, in talking to Kyle, there's definitely some plans that they had budgeted for in terms of replacing trees and making sure they're painted when they go in and things like that. So, you know, there was quite a bit of forethought beforehand, but I agree. I think that reviewing all of these ideas before the next tree painting is a spot on way to improve.
I should have led with it. It's fantastic. It's a great event. But, you know, we want to grow every year and make it, you know, there's always little tweaks and nips that we can put into place.
For sure. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Fire
Do
away.
you have to do paper waivers and sign in? Could that be something that when they sign in online that they're coming, they could do digitally?
The hard part with that is a lot of them sign up as groups. So then we don't have those
Individual
individuals
needs. Okay.
or kids
A lot of
that
entries
have
in
that.
tree painting too, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, they have to
The
do it. I
contact
get why
work.
you have to
Yeah.
do it. I get that. I just thought that would be one less,
If we can
It would be
find a
nice to
way,
say, you're absolutely
yeah.
right, yeah.
but I see what you're saying, you know,
yeah,
NHS or whatever signs up as them, they don't, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know, like, I know like a lot of times the place will have tablets. When you show up and it's all digitized, so it's not like that big mess of paper, and they just kind of put their name in, check a box, and then the next person does it. I don't know if we have that, I don't know if we have that capacity or not, but
We
that
can
would
ask.
streamline it.
I know that rec doesn't specifically have those available for use, but I can ask in case clerk's department or somebody has some that we can use for that day, that would be helpful.
We might end up with 150 people trying to use the same tablet.
Yeah.
Just a Google form that you create, you know,
Yeah.
you could email it out ahead of time.
Right.
So we
Figure out
just
a way
don't
to do
have all
that,
those
you know.
But they don't have
emails
the
ahead of
names
time.
and
Yeah.
emails. I get it. Yep. Okay.
A lot of the
Yeah.
schools go through their own sign-up sheet and then they just show up as a group and we're just figuring out how many people we have really we have estimates, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know exact numbers until we're counting.
Yeah, I think we estimated based on what people were telling us about 150, and then we turned out to have 118, which is still fantastic. But
Truth be told, there were groups that we had there in the past that didn't come this year too. Probably 50 people that had come prior, you know, that did not come this time. So it was pretty neat to see, right?
Yep.
Great to see some of the folks that came back though, like the groups that, obviously all the schools like pitch in real big. But, the Wigwam Volunteer Group,
Yeah.
Chef, I believe is his name, Sheffield, Chef.
Yeah.
He led the group and we made sure they got preferential, positioning around the wigwam so they could, neat stuff like that. And then, of course, we get to build a relationship with them too, just being out there and painting with them, talking to them. Yeah.
We spilled a gallon of paint in the same exact driveway this year as we did last year.
Yeah.
Not me, but one of the families spilled the same exact spot.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
a brick driveway.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
They were out there with paper towels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't hear that.
Well,
That's good.
if you didn't hear it, right?
That doesn't mean that Kyle didn't.
We cleaned it up pretty good.
Yeah, we did our best, and I know that Kyle sends the teams out afterwards just to make sure they're watching out for exactly that, and I checked it out the week after. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's that we, maybe we add that to our instructions in the beginning, like when you get to this house, please.
Don't spill.
Have a sign there.
Yeah.
We've got one.
Right, position one of the commissioners, like, right in the driveway, like, don't.
What was the date we did it this year?
15th?
15th.
and
Is that the end of spring break or the beginning? That was the end of.
End of spring break.
So this year, that would be the 14th and the 15th, if we wanted to, like, I don't know, it's not an action item, I'm sure, but
It can be
if we wanted to just make that decision to keep it that weekend, one less than we have to do down the road.
I like that. I do want to make sure it's okay with Kyle, because there's cycling of the grass that I don't want to, step on his toes with, but I do like those dates.
We could put it on the agenda for next meeting.
And
Sounds
talk to
good.
Kyle about the logistics and dates for next year.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and we definitely want to go through with Kyle what materials we went through. So 40 cans of paint plus one donated can, right? We don't know which, I think we tried to use the donated can, but it was like a no-go. Yeah. Yeah, but that's a lot of paint, right? So that, the brushes, I think it was like over 100 brushes. So we'll keep alive on all that too.
There's kind of a lot of waste on the paint this year, just because there was less trees to paint. With the downtown, had the lights that were installed.
yet?
Yeah,
I don't
so
think
they're
they've
like
been done yet
20 or
too.
30.
No, they haven't.
Unfortunately, the last time I drove by.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll use.
yeah.
Whatever paint, I don't know how much was left.
Was it
Yeah.
about
Couple of
the paint you're saying?
Just a couple of cans of combined, right? Like we basically had to dump in to get like one or two cans.
Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, once the can's opened and,
Yeah.
it's poured into cups and stuff, it's hard to really like leave it.
Right
I
on.
think we're short on scrubbers. I think more scrubbers would also be needed next year. I had a lot of groups saying, do you have any more scrubbers? Because they only had one and they could have used a couple.
Scrubbing job is a little bit more physically exhausting too, as opposed to
Yeah.
the paint. And I
That's
think
the hard
that's part
job.
of it, like they tire out a little bit quicker.
We probably had a few of the scrubbers walk off. Like actual
Yeah.
scrubbing.
This will work well on my tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay, that brings us to Commissioners' report on current events. Commissioner Schwartz.
That's just been so much, I mean, we haven't been here for 3 months. It's like, there's been so much happening, right? The wine festival was awesome. First run with the new park. That was, and then we can do that later for future agenda items, but like, we haven't discussed, like, if those that were there, like, what we thought of that, and like, maybe improvements for future festivals. That was awesome. And then, the 5K, and that was well attended, and, what was the other thing we did? One other thing, I can't remember what it is right now. Oh, the State of the City address. That was awesome. Fantastic spread of food, I thought.
Dumplings were amazing. I'll just say it. Dumplings were amazing. Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Commissioner Giancobi. I said it wrong.
Giordano.
I have to apologize to my Aunt Betty for mispronouncing an Italian name now, and I apologize for that. She's gonna be very upset.
That's it, yes. Hello.
So in the Commissioner's report on current events, we basically just talk about, and in this case, I mean, since this is your first meeting, you have a lifetime of events you can talk about. But if you just want to mention one or two things in the last, say, couple of months that you enjoyed in the city, or something that you
Yeah.
noticed, or,
Really, all of it. I just kind of love all of it. I haven't been able to be a part of it, and it's not because I don't want to be. I have the record store that's right by Safeway, and we are down a person because my oldest moved to Jersey on me, so I lost a weekend person. So I'm doing 6-7 days a week there. So I'm kind of missing some of our weekend events here, but I have heard really good feedback music, and the record store goes very well with the wine event. So we did have people coming over just absolutely gushing about the new location. Getting in and out was easy. Felt like you didn't have to come, because some people get a little lost, because I live down that side, so they're like, where do I go once I get on Old Litchfield Road, So it seemed like people could get here and find it and go places. And like I said, the feedback at my store was great, because they were literally hearing the music there and going, I need music, So that was kind of a cool thing to see. My kiddos love the park. I will say that. They ride their bikes down there almost every day and go play over there and stuff. So they love that one. I think everything looks great. The lights look fantastic. The trees are looking great. It's looking very crisp, if that makes any sense. Like, it was kind of like dull, not winter dull, just like, I think, life dull, you know what I mean? And it just seems fresh, like there's a new look on everything, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, but I will be here, right? I did see that. That was a really cool turnout to see too, like little groups of everybody out there was cool on my way to work, my nonstop life right now.
well, right on, thank you. Commissioner Fee?
Yeah, so I think a lot of you know I had a baby in December, and I have not really done anything in since then, other than the tree painting event got out. So, yeah, looking forward to going to some of those.
So what you're saying is we should schedule more tree painting events?
Honey, I have to leave. They're expecting me.
Good now, so looking forward to bringing her to the event. And all of that.
Right on, man. Congratulations to you, of course. This is your first, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
All right, man.
What's your name?
Haley.
Beautiful name. Commissioner Colbreth?
Yeah, the Art and Wine Festival was very good. Ended that. Went recently, took my youngest daughter, one of her friends, to one of the movies in the park, the last one they had. And that was kind of a simple event, but nice to do for the community, I think. So hopefully we continue to do those next year. And let's see. Yeah, I'm planning to take the family to the Easter event on Saturday. So again, yeah, overall, the new park, I like it. Glad every time I drive by, I see people at the playground and people out there. So I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's getting use. And I do like that we installed new lights downtown on the palm trees. That was one of Kyle's things. I put permanent lights in now, not just seasonal. And I saw it said these can change colors with things. So I think that's a good addition to the city. That's it.
Vice Chair Phillips?
I would just say, since I'm like the oldest and longest person on here, it makes me so happy to ride or walk or drive around and see all the things that have happened since I started on here. And some of them have taken since I was, a newbie on here, and they're finally happening. I mean,
What year was that?
I don't know, 1987. I have
No
no
way.
idea. No, I'm kidding. But it was a really long time ago. I don't know.
08?
Maybe like, 06 or 08, maybe. but it's just so cool to see all that's happened in kind of a short span of time, actually, like the city is growing up without growing out of the character of the city. So to me, everything that's happened, we've just maintained the feel and the character and the specialness of it. So, you know, I can't wait for the hill. Yeah, that's all.
Boy, oh boy, you guys like mentioned everything, so hard to follow, but, you know, certainly just, want to touch on the wine festival real quick. I went, I had a blast. More importantly, everybody I talked to there had so much fun, and all the vendors that were there loved it. And if you guys were there during the windstorm, it was a little bit scary for a few of the vendors because there's some like expensive glass stuff and they had to secure everything down when that wind came through. But, you know, nobody complained. Everybody just loved it. So, you know, that's probably as happy as I've ever seen a bunch of vendors. And I think that it shows so much potential and promise for future events. And everything worked great. You know, maybe we were a little worried, the electric or whatever it was, right? But at the end of the day, everything was perfect. The food trucks, correct? There was no problems, right? Right on. Knock on wood for, you know, I don't want to jinx anything for the future. But generally speaking, just it really shows how great the park has turned out. Kudos to the maintenance crew and all the builders that were involved in that. And boy, oh boy, can't wait for the future. Can't wait for the future. So that's all I have. Do we ask Councilman James to contribute?
I don't see why he couldn't.
Councilman James, would you like to contribute to our report on current events?
I thought you guys' report was great. I have nothing to contribute, but thank you for allowing me to be a part of this commission.
We're happy to.
Thank you for having us, yeah, or for joining us, pardon me. Topics for referral to city council? I don't believe we have any. So that just leaves one more thing.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second. Are there any questions? All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.